Out of closed session.
So moved. Second.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Motion was Ms. Cunha?
Yep.
Okay. Second was, see, I jumped right into duty. Right on thing. Let's not have, oh, okay. All right. We're at,
Ms. Davis?
motion to come out of closed session.
Ms. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
and Ms. Cunha. Aye.
Ms. Stewart, could you please read the certification, come out of closed session?
Whereas the New Kent County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the New Kent County School Board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the New Kent County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, and only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirement by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the New Kent County School Board.
Thank you.
Move that the board certifies the closed session.
I hear a second.
Second.
Ms. Davis?
Ms. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
and Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Everyone, please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And before we get to the consent agenda, I would like to welcome our student representatives, Haven and Marley. Very nice to have you join us. And we're looking forward to having you for the remainder of the year, just getting started. Board members, by now you've had the opportunity to review the items listed on the consent agenda, including meeting minutes from the June 9th regular meeting, June 23rd school board retreat, and the July 21st special called meeting, as well as the superintendent's recommendations regarding 15 personnel matters and 2 student matters. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Ms. Davis?
Ms. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
and Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, new business. Dr. Nichols.
Yes, sir. We're going to do a little opening of schools. As you know, we are exactly 3 weeks away from first day school.
If I may interrupt,
Yes, sir.
I would just like to let everyone know that Ms. Dombrowski unfortunately is ill this evening, and that's the reason that she's not with us. Thank you. Sorry, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're excited to welcome 74 new team members joining Team New Kent. That's across all positions in the organization, from our transportation department, student nutrition, teachers, paraprofessionals, and everybody that it takes to make Team New Kent run. So we're excited we've met almost all of them in some orientation sessions led by Tammy Waters. And I've run into, I think, most of them in the community recently. So we're excited to have them joining us. We'll have a big new teacher brunch on a week from yesterday. Staffing needs. This was board members was published a week ago, and as you know, we move fast in New Kent, so this is no longer accurate. Actually, you changed it. Wow. Okay, so late breaking news. It is now accurate. So New Kent Elementary, and some of the staffing came in today. We just didn't have it in time for the board meeting. Paraprofessional, George Watkins, no vacancies. Quentin, teacher, we have a requisition just came in today. So reading specialist at New Kent Middle School, that's the second reading specialist, school-based substitute And we're excited. We'll be filling the assistant principal one, incredibly soon. New Kent High School, we just learned of a new vacancy, in terms of science. Transportation, we're ahead of where we were last year, which we expected to be, because board members, you invested heavily in the driver salaries. So right now we're at 5 bus drivers and 2 car drivers. We have several drivers in the classroom and on the road to get their CDL. Summer projects, while parts of this organization slow down, there are other parts of this organization that really ramp up in the summer. One of my favorite projects, they're all essential and they're all important. But if you walk in the New Kent Middle School gym right now, you will see a gym that has been transformed. And it really needed to be transformed, from the floor to the backboards to automating some of the systems. It would take our PE teachers nearly an hour to hand crank all the backboards up.
Backboard set.
Now it is automated push of a button. So they may have smaller biceps at the end of the year, but will be much more efficient. But tons of projects. We completed the LED project at the high school, rooftop units going in as we speak. Started light replacement at the middle school. Once we finish the middle school, all schools will have LED lights except for New Kent Elementary School, because we're working on building a new school there. So, and many of these projects came out of CIP, and then there's some that just come up, like you can only anticipate sinkholes, but you fix them when it happens. So want to thank Mr. Todd, Mr. Pollock, and the whole maintenance team for making those happen in a very short time frame. August 24th is our first day of school. I've seen some information online about why it is later. We are currently tied to 2 weeks before Labor Day, and Labor Day does move based on calendar. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's, I know people should know that, but it does seem that people forget that Labor Day does move. So it's a little bit later this year. We'll welcome our kindergartners, 258 of them currently, although there are more enrolling. That's the class of 2039. So if you want to feel older, there's your news for the day. And our seniors definitely feel old. We provide this every year for families. It's on our website. It's the school calendar snapshot. It just tells you all the important dates you need to know at a glance. Board members, this is the second year of a 2-year calendar that you guys adopted. So our calendar committee will go into action early fall and looking to draft another 2-year calendar.
Excellent.
So the families have a long runway when it comes to when we have breaks, when we're in, and when we're not. And so that'll come before you in a couple reads in the fall, early winter. Important information for families. We just sent a massive update to families yesterday. We had a back to school video, which is going New Kent viral right now. Channel 8 picked it up, and we got a lot of fun traffic on that. So thank you to everybody that put on a mascot costume in a 100-degree day, including Miss Davis. So first day of school, August 24th, and then we are closed the Friday before Labor Day, and that is by law, September 4th. And then also Monday, so there's a 4-day weekend for our families. But all of the information is live on our website, and the families have also gotten an email and texted and likely a phone call as well. So that's the important information for families. We have a host of open houses and important events coming up in the next couple of weeks from kindergarten through 12th grade. So board members, that's my opening of schools report. Our next board meeting, I'll tell you how the first weeks of school has gone.
Excellent. All right. Next item is superintendent's goals. That would be you again,
So
sir.
it should be. So board members loaded in board docs, and Ms. Davis got a copy in your folders,
Yeah.
but I don't have mine. In one moment. That's okay. Oh, I'll share for a minute. Board members, at our retreat, there was a discussion about superintendent goals. So as we do, we took that information and came back and wanted to give you an update on it.
Thank you.
So you will see the superintendent goals mirror the strategic plan goals. The strategic plan is the document that guides this school division. So for me to have goals that are outside of this strategic plan probably wouldn't be in good alignment. So There is a major goal for each one of them. Whether it's goal 1, increasing student achievement, 3, readiness, to goal 4, strengthening community engagement and public trust. Within each of the goals, you have key performance indicators. There's evidence of success because you have to have evidence, and then progress review. See, each of those progress reviews says a quarterly update to the school board. That was another conversation we had at the retreat about bringing quarterly updates to the board. So that is our plan, is to take these goals and to provide updates each quarter on how we're doing on as many of these metrics are relevant in that quarter. Some you'll see every month, like discipline. I mean, not every month, every quarter, like discipline and attendance. Others you may see more on a semester basis, but welcome any questions or feedback related to those goals.
Board members, any questions, comments? No? All set, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I believe Mr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Miller is bringing the gifted. plan
You're up, sir.
update. It is a first read for you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Nichols. Every 5 years, we come forward with another local gifted plan. And so I'm bringing that forward tonight as a first review, and then next month for voting on. What I want to, I'm going to go through some specifics of the plan. It is a 5-year plan. However, understand that as things shift through those 5 years, it is not a script that we're following to the T. As new opportunities arise, we're constantly looking at how do we improve and how do we better things for our students. So understand this is sort of a master document, but over those 5 years, we have opportunities to introduce new programs and things like that. We'll do that. But I want to roll through sort of where we're at right now. So our gifted department, this is the 4 members of the gifted department. Our new director of instruction, Candace Welch, oversees the gifted department. And then Jamie Collins is our gifted resource teacher at the middle school level. She is also the gifted department head. And then we have gifted resource teachers at the elementary, Rochelle Gregory and Jean Fox. So overall, the goal of this plan, as is written, is to produce students identified as gifted who are highly equipped for their chosen post-secondary pathway while taking into consideration unique needs based upon their specific area of giftedness. And you can go to the next one. So we identify New Kent in 3 areas of giftedness. Overall, at the state level, there are 7 different areas of giftedness, and we currently identify 3, but we review those annually and look at, hey, are there others that we could identify for? What would that look like? So those are general intellectual aptitudes. So that's all around aptitudes. Students with a higher IQ and higher achievement would fall under general intellectual aptitude. Specific academic aptitude for math or English means that their performance and their aptitude is high in that specific area. And so when we look at services, they receive services that are uniquely geared towards mathematics or English, whereas someone who is under GIA receives both of those. So these are 3 big pillar areas that all of our goals fall under as part of the gifted plan, and the document that is in board docs. The gifted plans in there is it's a template that comes from the state, and then we were basically required to fill in the template for how we do those things in New Kent. And these pillars are unique to us. They encompass 6 different goals that are in the plan that comes from the state. So first, equitable identification is making sure that across the board each year, we look at the demographics of our gifted program and make sure that it mimics the population in New Kent. So if you look at the overall population of students as a whole, our subset of gifted students should follow that as well. Looking at both cultural, socioeconomic, as well as students who are ESL or special education students, you should still have a similar percentage in your gifted population as you have in general ed population. Back again, there you go. So the other pillar that we look at is the delivery of services and professional development to teachers, and making sure that that is rigorous and challenging for our students. And then lastly, is our gifted advisory council. We do have a gifted advisory council that meets regularly throughout the year, and they provide feedback from a parent and staff perspective on what do they see and what would they like to see for their students. We also do an annual survey of those parents to get ideas of what would they like to see us include in gifted programming for the year or in future years. So one of the probably the biggest part of the plan is how do we identify students as gifted? And so I wanted to go over that a little bit. First of all, do have continuous referrals throughout the year. Parents can and staff members or students can refer themselves or others, and that can happen anytime. We do specifically target the first month of each semester and really push hard during those times to get those referrals to come in. They can reach out at any time for that process. At the second grade level, we do a universal screener to try and catch anyone who has not been referred by that point that we need to take a closer look at. Even though we do take referrals after that, we do identify students past second grade. We try and do that to capture as many students as possible. So we do a cognitive test each spring in the second grade of those students. Once we get to evaluation, we take a look at a variety of identification data points. I'll go over those in a second. And once a student's referred, we do have a 90-day timeline to determine whether or not they should be identified as gifted or not and should receive services. So this is how we identify students. We take a look at cognitive testing. So that's like an aptitude or an IQ test. We do achievement testing, and then we look at their academic performance in the classroom, as well as we give our teachers a teacher evaluation scale where they look at student behaviors in the classroom that are typically seen of gifted students, and they're rating how often they see those characteristics out of the student. And so then for each of the areas of identification, we have different thresholds of that 90 points total that we're looking for as whether or not we should recommend a student for eligibility for giftedness. So then our services is the next biggest portion of the plan. And one of the big things is making sure that your services are continuous across your K through 12 experience and provide the opportunity to attend a summer regional governor school that starts in third grade and goes up all the way up to seventh grade. So I have one listed under middle school as well. And it is a rotational summer governor school that exists we're the westernmost district, and it extends up into the northern neck area. In middle school, we have cluster grouping as well, mostly in advanced English and accelerated math classes. And then we also provide push-in and pull-out services. So sometimes the gifted resource teacher will go into the classroom and provide services there and support there. But then we also have some electives that students can opt into through their middle school experience. We've just added those back in this year, and so excited to see how those go this year. And then, of course, the summer regional governor school again. At the high school, it is mostly about making sure that our students are being appropriately challenged and are pursuing coursework that is at their level of challenge and need. So we do push them to get involved as early as possible in their advanced placement classes, as well as dual enrollment pathways. We do offer several governor schools for students. At Maggie Walker and Chesapeake Bay, we do also have gifted students that attend Code RVA as well as Bridging Communities as options as well. Yes, sorry.
But RVA is not necessarily a gifted program.
That's why I didn't have it listed there.
Thank
But we do have gifted students that do.
That's why I'm not sure it should be mentioned. It's a lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the built-in accountability. So this is our review cycle of the plan. So as I said, while it is a 5-year plan, it gets adjusted as we go through the years, because each year we're required to take a look at different areas of the plan. So you'll see some of them duplicated as you go through the 5 years. That is so that each area we do try and take a look at least twice over the 5 years. And then in the final year, we look at the entire plan as a whole, see how we're doing. But we make adjustments as we go along as new opportunities come available to us, as I mentioned earlier. And so for today's purposes, this is a first read. I do encourage you to take a look over the next 30 days, review the plan happy to answer any questions you have this evening, but also I would encourage you to take a look at it, the plan. It is about 40 pages long, so feel free to call on any portions that you have questions about. But I would be looking for hopefully a vote in consideration at your next meeting.
Pack a lunch if you're going to check it out. Mr. Reimer?
Yes, is the local plan online?
Yes, it is under board docs right now, and the current plan is posted out under their instructional page, but the new plan is in board docs.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I do.
That's
Two
good.
questions, Mr. Miller. As far as the ELL learners, do we currently have gifted ELL learners?
Like one or two.
Okay.
Because when you look at our overall ESL population, there's a small number, and so yeah, we have like one or two of them.
And so is there, are there gifted teachers who are qualified to work with ELL students? Because I know you have to have an endorsement, right?
So to provide ESL services, you have to have that endorsement.
Yes.
So we do have gifted, resource teachers who have been through ESL classes and have not gone through and gotten the full endorsement, but they also can collaborate with our ESL staff.
Okay. And as far as the 90-day timeline, can you explain, is that given to you as by the state, or is it something that you determine?
So that's state regs, is that from the time that the referral period, which we count as the first month of the of the marking period, you have 90 days from then to actually go through an identification process, through all the testing and anything, and then make a decision within 90 days.
Because that's basically a marking
Semester.
marking quarter semester, right? It's 90 days.
One semester.
And how often do gifted students get differentiation in the classroom setting at the elementary school level? Like, is that something weekly or?
Should be regular and ongoing. I mean, they get pull-out services about weekly. And but in the classroom, all of our teachers do differentiate, our get to resource teachers go into some of those planning periods to provide extra guidance on how to differentiate for those students.
Have you identified one last question, I apologize.
No worries.
I know that you're just finished with the 5-year cycle,
Right.
and this is the next 5 years. What areas do you feel are specifically you're focusing on that you found really needed improvement based on your evaluation of the previous 5 years?
So one is identification and making sure that those demographics match. And so, and because I would say our ESL population is gifted is smaller than it really should be, or we'd like it to be. And then some of our like our special education population, we should be seeing more students who are considered dually identified, so they're gifted and special education. So we should see higher populations there, and so those are areas that is a real big focus for us. The other one is high school. While we do provide guidance there, we'd like to see how can we provide additional services at the high school level, and so that's an area of focus for us.
Mr. Reimer?
Yes, in terms of other opportunities for gifted, is promotion one,
When you advancement,
advancement?
yes. So that is a portion of the plan that I didn't really go into, but it
Okay.
Is acceleration and advancement.
Yes,
And the plan basically cites our two policies that have to do with that.
okay.
And so it's not where anyone can. is
Do we
open
have
for
policies
acceleration.
that I should review those?
No, I can explain them to you. I mean, we
No.
do allow acceleration at all levels, and we have had students who have accelerated as it's a very rare occurrence, but as early as early to mid elementary school.
Yep.
But starting in 4th grade, we do accelerate math. We have not done as much full grade acceleration, like just skipping a full grade. There's so much content at every grade level that typically it's single content area of focus. So if a child's really gifted in math, looking at how can we jump them there, or really gifted in language arts or reading, how can we jump them there if they have all the skills necessary? We try to be very careful with it because there's so many skills at each grade level that we don't want to come up later and find out they're missing something that they could have gotten there.
We had a young man, he starts Maggie Walker.
He started last
He
year.
started last year. Gosh, time's getting away from us.
Yes.
Took every math course we had in the high school and then some before he got to high school.
Cool. I love it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we had to that student in particular, we accelerated 3 years in 1 year in math alone. So, but it was a rare occurrence.
Yeah, that's
Selection, the tests you mentioned, you only mentioned one Naglieri. Is that, what other tests are used? I'm not that fond of Naglieri myself.
So the Navigator, we use that for aptitude testing, and for cognitive, we use the MAPS assessment for achievement, are the two nationally normed assessments that we use. If we go through the process and a parent appeals a decision, then we will look at other cognitive tests if need be. Sure.
And the weighting on some of those, is that state driven? Or-
Yeah, that's local.
That's local?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. So you mentioned that the gifted elective is coming back to the middle school, and how long was it gone?
So it has been gone since 2019.
Okay. And is it coming back as a result of the parent feedback survey
Yes.
or of the gifted advisory council?
Both, yeah. So parents had asked for it coming out of the survey, and then we had looked at our ability to provide services at the middle school, and felt like from the survey, as well as talking to parents through the Gifted Advisory Council, that those would be good additions to come back at this point, and it would allow us to provide more targeted support for those students.
And do you feel like that could move towards the high school in some capacity in terms of problem-based learning for electives?
Potentially, yes. Yeah, we right now we're looking at how to sort of jump into the high school with some periodic services, and but that could formalize itself at some point if you need into a course.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
And we really, so board members, you've seen the past couple of years, we have an additional gifted teacher in our budget. We will see it again in order to make some of this, more of this happen. It really comes down to the personnel piece. So just remember that as we get into budget discussions, that is a really high priority of us. And part of the key to unlocking this 5-year plan is to get that gifted position that gives us that flexibility.
Yeah, especially being able to push into the high school and things like that. That extra position is vital.
Mr. Miller, as far as demographics, the equitable portion of this, is that a formula determined by the state?
You mean as far as what the distribution should be?
Yes.
It should match your local population. And that's pretty much what the regs say, what all national guidance would say is that your local population as a whole should be mimicked within any of your special populations identified. But yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Comments?
I have one more.
Please.
You mentioned that we have 3 categories, right? We have the general, the math, and the English. And I noticed in the bigger document that there are other categories. How do you determine here in New Kent why those 3 specifically and not the other ones?
So those are the ones that we have done traditionally. We do look at that periodically, and look at several things. Look at how would we identify students in those others, and we do look at, so what are some of the surrounding divisions identify? Years ago, about 15 years ago, we did identify like in visual performing arts for, it was like a year, and then that went away. It's I'd love to bring it back at some point. And so we'll be looking at that as we're enacting this plan. That is one of the areas that we'll look at.
Is that due to a lack of resources, or what do you think is?
At the time, it was programming. I can say that, but I think our programming in those areas has definitely improved, and our students are performing at a high level. So the other areas that you can identify is you can identify science, social studies, and you can identify CTE and visual performing, which are the 4 that we don't currently identify in. But always looking at what are those other areas and how do we do that? And CTE is a new one that still sort of keeping an eye on sort of ways divisions are identifying someone as being CTE gifted. And it's not very clear. But
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right. School board goals review and update. Project NKES.
I don't have any updates. in
Okay.
Those 3 categories. We'll
Nothing
have
there?
Another round of policy reviews next month.
All right. So there are no items for vote consideration. No unfinished business. We come to citizen comment period. Let me say before we begin, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to speak. Please note that the comments are limited to 3 minutes. Once the timer sounds, please promptly finish your comment and return to your seat. It is customary for the school board not to make comment during the citizen comment period. Please make sure your contact information is provided on the sign-up sheet if you would like someone to follow up with you. Thank you again for coming. And we have one, Miss Elizabeth Ramarenko. Welcome.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for the time. My name is Elizabeth Romarenko, and I live in District 2. Before I begin, I want to state that Stuart was not appointed to this board until May 4th of this year. I'm here tonight because I believe the public deserves an answer to one simple question. Under what authority was our school division enrolled in the Prager U Book Fair program? Virginia law says a school board acts as one governing body, not as 5 individual members. As this board's legal counsel from Sands Anderson explained during the January 2025 work session, individual school board members have no authority except what is assigned to them by the board as a whole. The following timeline is based on documents obtained through the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. On January 9th, 2026, Ms. Dombrowski and Ms. Kuna received an email from the School Board Member Alliance offering school divisions a free PragerU book fair in a box. Ms. Dombrowski began looking into the opportunity, which included books, videos, and lesson plans. The School Board Member Alliance told her to, quote, check with your board to make sure they are okay, end quote. School administration also advised that this would, quote, represent a board-led/endorsed material. On January 14th, Ms. Dombrowski emailed the other board members individually asking whether they were, quote, okay with having Ross, that's Mr. Miller, and his team review the 14 books offered through this opportunity, end quote. Ms. Kuna and Mr. Vaught replied yes by email. There's no email record of response to Mr. Pagano. Mr. Reimer replied by email, quote, how can we authorize without a meeting? I'm for it in principle, but we can't do anything official without a vote, end quote. That raises a very important question. When did a public vote happen? Between January and the end of April, this board held 5 public meetings. This initiative never appeared on an agenda. It was never discussed in public. It was never brought to public vote. Yet around February 3rd, Ms. Dombrowski enrolled George Watkins Elementary School in the program. The books and the materials were shipped in April and the event took place in May. So I ask again, when did the board authorize this action? If the full board never discussed or voted on participating, on what authority was the school division enrolled? This isn't simply about one program, it's about who has the authority to take official action on behalf of our school district. Public meetings exist so the community can hear the discussion before decisions are made, understand the reasons behind them, and know how each elected official voted. That process did not happen here. Whether these actions complied with Virginia law is ultimately a question for legal counsel, but they unquestionably raise serious concerns about transparency, accountability, and the governance of this board. For a board that campaigned on transparency, I believe the community deserves clear answers. And so I would respectfully ask this board to publicly answer the following. Who had the authority to enroll the district in this program? Why was this matter never discussed or voted on in a public meeting? And what other decisions are being made without public knowledge and input? I look forward to the response. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Next one is action items. There are none at this time. And we come to comments. Board members. Ms. Cunha, would you like to start?
Oh, I just want to thank everyone for the hard work you've done all summer. I think I reiterated these same comments at our recent meeting in July. As we get ready for the beginning of the new school year, I want to emphasize the importance of communication and effective communication. Parents are going to be getting a lot of information at the beginning of the school year, a lot of information that requires you to sign off on. And I advise that you please take a close look at every document that you receive, read it carefully, and sign off on it. If you have any questions, please reach out to the division and ask. a lot of times, people put things out on social media. That's not the best way to communicate by no means. So any communication, do it with your teachers, your administrators, etc. You have the right to ask questions. That goes also for the staff members, all staff members, etc. Know your rights, know your parental rights, and communicate effectively. I think that's one of the issues that is difficult in divisions. A lot of times the issues that are raised throughout the school year have partly to do with poor communication. And it's always incumbent upon us to find ways to improve that communication. None of us are perfect, but certainly transparency and accountability are absolutely important in the division. Wishing everyone a wonderful school year. Excited for the things that are going to be happening this year. Our staff is ready, our teachers are ready, we're ready to continue to do our work to provide the best learning environment possible for New Kent County Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reiner.
I just want to thank the superintendent and the staff for preparing the school well for the new year. And the saying that our teachers are in place and ready to go is encouraging. I'm looking very much forward to another year achievement for our students. And I'm looking to see how well you guys all do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Stewart.
With school less than about 20 days away, I'm thrilled that we have minimal vacancies at each of the buildings. And so I'm very encouraged moving into the school year. And thank you for the presentation today, Mr. Miller and Dr. Nichols. And I'm excited to move forward as school board representative here. Going into the school year for the first time, as a school board representative. So I'm excited for that. And please, just as parents, as community members, as staff, just to echo my colleague here, communication is key, and that's all we can do. Just continue to do our best. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Dr. Nichols, I'm going to skip you. And Haven, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'd say definitely, kind of going off what Sonia said, definitely increasing communication between the students and the school board for students to understand that the school board their goal is to help the schools, and advocating the concerns to the school board in the capacity that they're able to.
Thank you. Marla?
This was a lot more thought out than mine.
I wanted to thank the school board and Dr. Nichols for giving me this opportunity. I really hope to provide insight from both my peers and for the school board, and I hope that I can contribute.
Excellent. Well, let me say we are delighted to have you on board. We're excited about the opportunity to hear from where it all happens within the school to us. That is exactly what we're here to do, is for education of the students in New Kent County. And we're certain that we have selected the two best to communicate with the students, and we thank you for doing that and taking that role on. I would like to agree with Ms. Cunha. A lot of times when information goes home the first of the year, a lot of assumptions are made and things get filed in the circular file, the trash. And it's important to mention that as parents, that we read everything that gets, we go to great measure on the website and all over the place through video, through phone calls, through text, to make certain that everyone is well aware of what's going on in the school system. But when it gets mailed out, a lot of times it gets ignored and it's assumed, well, we got this last year. Changes are made every year, and it's very important. So I encourage every parent, every caretaker to read through and make certain that you understand. And if you don't, make certain that you contact us and clarify. Dr. Nichols?
Sir, as I enter year 30 in education, My 8th year overall serving as your superintendent. I will tell you the excitement hasn't faded at all. In fact, it just grows. So every year, so we cannot wait for the first day of school. We're not in any hurry because we still got some work to do to get it to be ready. But and I will tell you, walking our hallways and walking the grounds, I'm incredibly proud of the team that gets us ready. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that makes it happen. A lot of unsung heroes that get us ready for the school year. I also want to say I'm really excited. I know both of our two student representatives, and I'm excited to have them on board. Student voice is incredibly important to me, and I know incredibly important to the board. You're going to make us stronger. You're going to make us better. So I look forward to partnering with you this year. Board, I want to say thank you for your support and helping us pass this budget and getting us to this point. It's going to be a strong year, and we're very excited about it. And look forward to seeing everyone back on campus. Students are starting to trickle back in. Teachers are starting to feel like school again. I can't wait for the 24th. So thank you, board members, and look forward to seeing you at the 9 million events we have between now and August 24th.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir. All right, the next meeting of the school board will be a regular session on Tuesday, September 1st, 2026, to be held right here in the historic courthouse boardroom, starting at 5:30. With that, our meeting is adjourned at 6:42 p.m.